All right, this is my trumpet lesson with Matt Magiacomo.
Magiacomo, but okay.
Magiacomo, excuse me. So this is going to be his first time ever playing trumpet. So we're going to start off with the very basics. And the first thing I'll have you do, Matt, is if I could have you grab the trumpet and set it down flat. Now, something that's very important to note is that when you're opening your trumpet, make sure that the hooks are right side up, so that way the instrument doesn't fall out when you open the top. So if I could I have you open up the case? And inside you will find the trumpet itself, the mouthpiece, a rag, and some valve oil in the bag for maintenance. So before we actually do any playing, I'm going to give you a rundown about the parts of the instrument, as well as some maintenance things to note about. So, I'm going over the parts of the trumpet. Excuse me. You will have, this is your mouthpiece, which is where you blow air in through, obviously, which attaches separately from the trumpet. You'll have your mouthpiece receiver / lead pipe, which is this whole first pipe here. You have your, going from closest to you to farthest from you, if you're holding the trumpet, is your first valve, second valve, third valve. If that makes sense, yes?
No, I got you, yes.
Okay, so first, second, third.
Because I heard, it coming out of your
Yeah, it makes noises.
Yeah.
Other than that, we have the ring. So, something to note about the ring is that when holding the trumpet, we'll go over that actually after I'm done explaining the rest of the trumpet, and then I'll show you how to properly hold it.
Okay.
So, next you have the first valve slide, which you use your thumb to control, and that changes the intonation here with your first. You have the second valve pipe, which is here, and it's very small, and it has very small leeway, and that connects to the second valve. And then you have the third one, which is the one of the longest of the three, and that you control with your middle finger. You also have your tuning slide, which is this long one here, and then you have your spit valves, which are these triggers here. And what you do is whenever you use them, you just pinch it, blow air through the trumpet, spit will drop out. It's super attractive, I know. This is also known as a ring. And then, of course, you have the bell of the trumpet, which is the end of the trumpet. And these are known as a water key, spit valve water key. So those are the parts of the trumpet. Now, when holding a trumpet, and I'll do it first, and then I'll let you hold the trumpet to go to do it yourself. First thing to note is that when you hold it, I like to start off by taking my left hand, putting my thumb in between the first ring on the first valve, and then taking the first valve slide, and then my middle finger goes inside the ring on the third valve slide, and then what I do is I have one finger pinch it kind of together so I've got a good grip on it, and these two kind of float down the side.
Okay.
Like so. And then what I do with my right hand is I take first, second, third on the valves. You tuck your thumb underneath. It doesn't matter which valve you put it in between. Just tuck it under so that you've got a good grip with your right hand to help balance it. And then your pinky rests on top of the ring here. It doesn't go underneath.
Okay. Any specific reason why?
It's for playing purposes, because when you do this, your fingers come flat, and it'll start to cause hand issues. Up here, you can kind of keep more of a curl, which at first is really hard, because it feels a little unnatural, but later on, it's just going to it saves so much stress and tension in your hand. So you rest it like that, and then that way, when you hold it up, you've got a good, solid base. You can change these two with your fingers when you need to, and you can, you have full action on it. It's going to be a tendency at first that you're just going to want to throw your finger in here because it feels more natural. But if you do that, you'll feel a lot more tension in your wrist. So I will let you take your first time. So grab it with your left hand first.
Left hand.
Middle finger goes in the...
There. Middle finger.
And then the first finger will come and grip here.
Here.
And then these fingers will float. Yep. And then that one will go in the ring behind.
Got it.
You've got a good grip there, so you can hold it with your left hand. And then, yeah, you'll curl your first 3 fingers on the trumpet valves. And then
I have small hands.
and your pinky will rest on top of the ring.
Yes, like that.
Yes.
If you want to see it. Anyway.
So that's how you initially...
I have small hands. I don't do this.
So that's how you're gonna that's how you'll hold the trumpet when you play. So things to note is that sometimes when you press down, valves will stick. So I'll take the trumpet back, excuse me.
No, absolutely.
So a thing that'll happen is sometimes your valves will stick if they haven't been used enough, or sometimes weather changes. Yeah. Weather can expand into...
Yes, metals.
Yeah. So it does metal stuff. So a thing you can do is you can actually, and I won't go into super full detail on this, but I'll show you. You can actually take out each individual valve.
Ah.
And this is how, this is the way, because when you press down, these holes will change and line up, so it'll change your pitches. Now, a thing to note is that there's these plastic little tabs here.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed a step. So that valve oil in there, what you do is you gently apply a little bit to the actual valve itself, along this lower metal part, and then you press it in, screw it in, and press it up and down. But before you do that, a thing you need to note is, so inside, see those little slots there?
Yeah, like the holes?
There's little notches. So
oh, yes, yeah.
There's like a little lip and
when
then
you tilted it
notches.
back, yes. Got it.
So what you do is when you put it in, it won't produce noise if it's not all the way in. Yeah. So what you do is you take it and you keep rotating it until it won't rotate anymore.
Ah.
Take it down, screw it back in all the way. And then if you had, say, the reason you do that is that you just put valve oil in it.
Yeah.
You would take it and you just give it a lot of love and attention.
Okay.
A lot of love and attention. So once you do that, it'll be fully functioning and it'll work well. The next thing you're going to want to do after that is to make sure noise comes out of it. But before we do that, I need to show you how to actually use the mouthpiece and then produce a note. So now that we're good on time, we've got 2.5 minutes before this lesson's over. I will teach you how to blow through the mouthpiece. So, taking the mouthpiece, we'll use our book. So, before we do anything, the posture is you want to sit back up towards the edge. You can sit back or towards the edge of your seat as long as you have a... You don't want to puff your chest out and throw your shoulders back. You want to be in a comfortable, vertical position so you can breathe. Yes. When you breathe, you want to breathe in with the bottom. You want to breathe in through the bottom. You don't want to breathe with your chest. So actually, I'm going to count 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to count 6 again. Yeah. You're going to breathe in on the first 6 and then breathe out. And then I'm going to go to 5 and then 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now your objective is you want to fill all the way up in that time. So you breathe in slow for those 6, and then breathe it all out slow for those 6. But when I'm doing 2, you want to get full capacity in 2. You use it all in 2. Yes. So ready? I'll do it with you. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I just tried so hard, that's a lot. Alright, we'll go back. Ready? We'll start at 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 1. So it's something to practice. It's a good way to work on your breathing, and just make sure you just try to maintain your posture. Use the bottom of your gut, and that's a good exercise to do before even picking up the trumpet. Yes. So now we're going to go over how to create a buzz with the trumpet. So, if I may, I won't use it, but I cleaned this previously before giving it to you, and I'm not going to blow through it. But what you'll do is your lips are going to purse on the mouthpiece towards the center. Now, how do you do it? And we have an actual picture here in the book. Picture guide. So, see how his lips are pursed, and is a thing to note. This is called your embouchure. Sure. Which is how your mouth is pursed. And a thing to note is that when you blow through a trumpet, you want your corners of your mouth to be tight, your cheeks to be in, and you want to be able to have your lips tight enough that they'll vibrate, but not too tight that no air is coming through, and not too loose that you're just kind of blowing. So you'll do that, and how you want to blow is get that form on your mouth, and don't press it too hard on your lips. But so center it. And then what you'll do is when you want to blow either towards the top or the bottom of the mouthpiece. You don't want to blow straight through it. So ready? Get a good deep breath and then just blow. Nice. Okay, so see, you're getting a buzz noise, so that's the first step.
That's what you're looking for?
Yeah, okay. You want that noise. It's going to sound like a duck call. So when you do that, and it's going to feel really weird. It vibrates a little bit.
Like it wasn't that bad, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Let's try again.
Yeah, and you make sure when you're blowing, blow through it, but blow through the top.
I think that's what I was going like up and out.
Yeah, so like it's kind of like you're blowing off the curve into the hole instead of into the hole.
Okay.
And then also when you take a breath with a mouthpiece, when you hold it to your mouth, what you do is when you breathe, you just drop your jaw, breathe underneath the mouthpiece, and then purse back together. Yeah, so give that a shot. So hold it to your lips. Take a breathe in by dropping your jaw. There you go. Yeah. Wow. So that's how you're starting with it. So before we end our lesson, I promised them we'd play one note. So we're gonna attempt to play a C.
Oh, good.
So that's your open position note. So what you'll do is you'll take the horn, start with your left hand, get a good grip with it. Yeah, that's perfect actually. Put that in. Give it. Yep. You don't want to stuff it too hard because it'll get stuck.
Well, that's too much. I just didn't think that it would go in. Not saying didn't think.
Yeah.
It's just
and then pinky on the ring.
Yeah.
Pinky on the ring. There you go.
Sorry.
Curve your fingers.
That's weird. It's like Typer's position, but it's just
and then you're going to put your lips to it. Take a breath. Make sure you drop your jaw.
I was breathing through my nose. Thank you very much.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You can. Okay. You got this.
No, it's just like
we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
So under.
Okay, so
I don't want to do it too loud.
You're good. So trust me, it's not as loud as you think. This is the equivalent of somebody playing music normally in their room. So I'm gonna pull up a note.
John just walked away. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
So that's the pitch you want to hear. There you go. So that's your first note, and that was pretty close to pitch, for as short as it was.
Yes. So
and then putting the trumpet back in the case, you'll put the mouthpiece in its slot.
Yep. Pretty shaped, kind of.
Yep, and that'll flip over, so the lead pipe will be upwards. Yep.
This way.
And then the mouthpiece will fit in the hole.
Wrong hole.
You'll close it up. Make sure all the latches are nice and tight.
I know usually some of you lift up first, then you go down.
And that's the end of our first lesson. Of your first lesson. So that was pretty good, I think, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.